Right, campers, Sunday, lunchtime. Took an hour to get these off. Absolute nightmare. The rubbers were just welded together. But anyway, whinging aside, we're doing the carbs today. I have a manual that tells me everything that I don't know what to do, which is quite a lot. And we're going to strip them, clean them. I'm not going to go mad and strip them down to the absolute nth degree where they're just like nothing. I don't feel confident enough to do that. But what we will do is we'll strip all the jets out and clean them and do other bits and bobs. And if I need to, I'll go into the diaphragms and so on and so forth and see what's happening. But first thing we need to do, because we've got them off, is undo these little drain screws and just get any fuel. I don't think there's a lot left in it. No fuel in them at all. No, nothing in, which I expected because I turned the fuel off and ran it dry a few weeks back, didn't I? Right, now in the manual, when you look, it says the first thing to do is open all this side up where the diaphragms are. Now, do I really want to be doing that? Or do I want to go into where all the jets are, where I think the problem is? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do them one at a time. Oh, go on. Go on. So 2 screws out, and then it says I need to remove a tiny little O-ring just in there. Come on. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. That is supposedly the air passage O-ring, which, well, we will see if we've got a spare one of them. I do have a spares kit. Whether we use it or not, I'm not sure, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So spring out. Oof. And then we need to peel the diaphragm carefully, it says, away and lift it out. There you go. And the end of that needle is disgusting. Like, really disgusting. So I think we may have found one of the problems. And it will be that. So that'll go there for now. In fact, we should be able to get that out. So inside there is a little press fit holder. There you go. An O-ring and a spring. Again, we'll see if we can replace them. Oh dear. Yeah, we don't want to be throwing anything else on the floor, do we? Especially not them. They are particularly not nice. Right, so that should do for that bit for now. So now we need to muck about with a float chamber. Oh lordy. Oh my lord, that is absolutely disgusting. That is beyond disgusting. There we go. That is probably the reason why it was rough running. It is absolutely manky in there. Like, disgusting. And there's still movement in the float, but all the jets look manky. The top of this looks absolutely rotten as well. So yeah, I think I think we know what we need to do. So that seal, apparently we can't reuse that. I do have spares. Where are my spares? So I bought a kit, a full kit apparently from, I think it was Taiwan they came from. Took a couple of weeks, 3 weeks to get here. There's 4 sets, one for each carb in case it was absolutely beyond repair. But again, I'll only use bits that I need to use. I won't just use everything for the sake of using everything, because that's probably not quite as good quality as the stuff that was in it originally. So unless it's beyond repair, then I'll just clean it and I'll just leave it. But the seal, we'll probably pull that out. I mean, a rubber seal's a rubber seal at the end of the day, so hopefully it'll be okay. So the float assembly screw, which is this one, which is, oh, she's not going to undo. She is not going to undo at all. Oh, that was dodgy. Yeah, that is not long for this world, that screw. Again, we'll see what we can do with it. And then we've got our float assembly with our little spring on the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I'll get a glass of water and I'll drop the floats in and just see what they look like. There's going to be a lot of cleaning, I think. So you 4 need to go there. That little rubber, that's the one out the top. Oh, some of these screws are absolutely rotten. You know when you're going to undo a screw and you think, that's it, if I put any more pressure on that, it's done. Oh, got it. There's a tiny little screw, that one. They are disgustingly manky. They are really bad. Now, the needle valve seat, it says if I pull that out, I need another O-ring. But I'm not convinced. I have said O-ring. So we need to have a look in here. See what we've got. Christ, I've got everything. New needles, new jets, new seals, new spring. I might risk it then. I might risk it for a biscuit. Alright, we get a new seat anyway. That's a gauze. That's pretty clean in there. Not too bad. Yeah, a bit manky. Oh god, the crap that's in there is unreal. Like, absolutely unreal. Man alive. Next up, the main jet. Something else to clean. And then the main jet holder. Which is an 8mm spanner. There is the tiniest of washers inside there. Well, sorry, little rubbers. No, because that's not the nicest thing to get to, is it? Right, needle jet holder is next, apparently. Oh, that is the worst bit. By far. I mean, I'm hoping that focuses, but look how rotten that is. That is just ridiculous. And that was the pilot jet, apparently, that we've just removed. I think that's the pilot jet, and then just the pilot screw. Yeah, now it does say in the manual how many turns we need to set that. So Don't have to worry too much about counting anything. I will just check though. 1, 2. Pilot was a fair way out. Are you going to come out or not? Oh, there you go. Extricated. That's probably the best looking bit of the whole thing, if I'm honest. Oh yeah, they're just rotten. Everything is just rotten. Should have thought that through. Won't stand up. So that's been soaking for about 10-15 minutes. It's better. It's not brilliant, I won't lie. The seal was like plastic, so we definitely need another seal, which I've got. And I think, having looked at everything and how manky it all is and rotten, I think what I'm going to do is just replace everything, because it is just a mess. And even soaking stuff for 20-25 minutes, it just isn't getting rid of the crap that's on it. Right, that is that cleaned with carb cleaner, where the diaphragm sits and inside the float chamber. So I'm just going to blow it out with a bit of compressed air. So excuse the noise. So, putting it back together, I'm hoping that I remember. We'll deal with that in a little while. Right, let's put this back together. So first up, a new pilot screw. Now the manual says screw it all the way in and then come back the number of terms that you counted when you took it apart. Now the manual says 1.5, but it was actually 2. So I think I'm going to set it half, 1, 1.5. Oh, no. Try that again. Half, 1, 1.5, 2. So that's what it was before. I mean, there's a little bit of me that is tempted to return it completely to standard and do it 1.5, but it was obviously at 2 for a reason. So we'll deal with that as we need to. So next, pilot jet. New one out of the pack. Right, next up, needle jet. So this has a notch that we have to align when we install it. down through the carburetor. The notch is facing there. So she looks good to me. So we've done you. We've done you. The needle jet holder. Don't have a replacement for him. Not at all. So the needle jet holder and the needle jet screw, the new one, we've got a slight problem. So that goes into the carb, and then that should slide in there and screw in. But the bore inside there, the diameter, isn't big enough to accept that. So we're just going to have to use the old one. So the main jet in there with the grooved end facing out, apparently. I am struggling to see how this little rubber washer goes in here at the minute. Makes no sense to me because it does not line up with any threads. You know what, we'll go with that. It says just fit it into the top, but as soon as you put the pilot screw in, it just feels like it's going to chew it to bits. So we'll go with what it says and we'll just put it in the top and hope it's right. If I screw this in here, this washer, this little rubber washer is dead. So needle valve seat next. That goes in there. Pushes in. That was nice. Sounded lovely. We need to test our float. Yeah, that floats. So we've got a new needle valve on there, and we've checked that the float assembly floats, which it does. So that's something, I guess. Guess I'm gonna have to, aren't I? Yeah, I'm good now. So I've had to use the old seal because the new ones are scrap. Basically, they are just no good. So I missed the retaining screw for that, and then I couldn't work out what or where the retaining screw for this was, for the float assembly, but turns out I was just being daft. Because I had two screws left, and I couldn't work out what they were for. So I took the cap off that one, just to have a quick look. And that makes sense now. Yeah, I think the like the needle valves or the float valves or whatever they are in there. I mean, look at that. That's got a bit of play in it. That hasn't. That's just dead. So I think that probably wasn't helping. Well, you live, you learn, I guess. One done. It's only took an hour and a half. Well, we're not even finished yet because I've not put any other needles or anything back in, or the diaphragm. Oh my god. Nowhere near done. Right. So, we'll give that needle a bit of a clean. So that goes in there. And then that goes on top. And apparently, there we go. There's a nice reassuring click. So that's in now. Yeah, that needle moves. There we go. Lovely. That's the diaphragm in place, I guess. And then we need a spring. And then we need a cover. One bolt in there. Well, one done. Hour and a half later, between me reading instructions and talking to you and doing bits and bobs. So, yeah, all the bits we didn't use. Let's put all the crap somewhere because we'll just get mixed up. Right, rinse and repeat on the other three. So we're not gonna drag this out. I'll just snap, 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 and then we're done. Right, that's them back together. They're done. There's not much more I can do. I've got a massive box of bits that I didn't use. The seals that came in the kit were scrapped. They didn't fit properly, didn't stay in place. There was all sorts of bits and bobs that I just couldn't use. So this one's done. They're done. Next time we'll get them back on the bike and we'll get it started, see if it runs, and if it runs okay, we'll get them balanced with some vacuum gauges.